So this one isn't just any PC build, this one's personal. It's for my sister who is a big Arcane fan. And her favorite character is Jinx. And if you know anything about Jinx, you know that it has to be perfect chaos. She currently doesn't have a PC, and that's when I had this crazy idea. What if I could build her the ultimate Jinx themed dream PC? Now here's the thing, I gotta keep it under $1,500. And as for the design, I took some inspiration from Archetype Origins, which they did a Jinx PC build, which they've done multiple, but it's specifically this one that I took some inspiration from. This is also kind of what gave me the idea. I had the idea already, but this kind of gave me a foundation to work with what I wanted to see at the end. So again, shout out to these guys. I absolutely love their PC builds and I think they are awesome. We're gonna first go on the design I had in the game PC Simulator 2. Something that looks like it was yanked out of Zon but has the guts to literally handle anything she throws at it. She's not too much of a gamer, but I still want her to have her own PC, and she's starting getting more into gaming, so that's nice. So for part 1, we're building the high performance heart of her Jinx themed dream machine from the ground up. This is the build. Let's get into it. Before we get our hands dirty, let's talk about the core components, the absolute guts of this beast. For a Jinx build, the case is a HYTE Y70. This is my favorite case of all time, honestly, and I just think it's the best case personally for this build. First up, the brain of the operation, the CPU. The CPU is a Ryzen 5 5500, and it's a budget option CPU, but it still holds up. But the big thing was it was a bundle. I had to get this CPU to get my motherboard and RAM on a very good price. So that's why I have this CPU. Now, it's a good multi-core CPU, still holds up in 2026, but it's still not the best. It's a budget one. Next, the foundation for everything, the motherboard. So this motherboard was part of the bundle I mentioned earlier. It's a Gigabyte B550M Gaming X Wi-Fi 6, AM4, DDR4, and it's a AMD one. So this one is a good motherboard. It's not DDR5, but again, I can always take this apart and put a DDR5 in the future and add this to like a other computer for like my work or something. The static matches a lot of the Jinx stuff. I really wanted a black motherboard, obviously, because if I did whites or something, it would have just looked way off. Same thing with like two silvery. So this is mostly just black, which I do appreciate. For the graphics card, this is kind of harder to do. So I was trying to make sure I was under my $1,500 budget, but also I was trying to make sure I had a really good 1880p graphics card that could do some 1440p if necessary. They don't have 1440p monitors or anything like that, so it really doesn't need to go there as long as it's really good 1880p. The one I picked was the PNY 5060 8 gigs triple fan Epic X ARGB. This one has 8 gigabytes of VRAM. It's still very good even today. Like it can do Sung Wukong, do games like that. It will not do 1440p that well on like high settings, but right now I just need to be able to get this PC running. I can future proof it in the future when prices go down. So we chose this one for the price and the look. And also it's still a good card, is the perfect choice for someone who's not just a gamer but is starting to get into gaming. It has great FPS. It's a great 1080p GPU with beginnings of 1440p, and it'll run smoothly and last long. It's a 5060 GPU, so I'm not too worried on how bad this one will do. The only downside is how little VRAM there is. I wish I could have got the 16 one, but that was a little over the budget. Now for memory and storage. Speed is the name of the game here. So the RAM was, again, with this bundle. RAM was where I had to pick this bundle, because if it was not for RAM, I would not gotten that bundle. I would have done other things, but it was GX Skill Whipple Jaws 16 gigs total to 8 gigs. So that one is a good set of RAM. It's just 16 gigs instead of what I wanted, which was 32. But again, we got to just keep it under the price so we can make sure everything works. out well. And again, this was a great bundle. I saved a lot from it. So we can always move this into a new PC after we upgrade horse. Now for the SSD, it's a Viper 1 terabyte M.2 SSD. So it has the speed, it has the storage, it can run pretty fast, and it came prepped with its own heatsink, which I didn't have to peel off or put on. It came prepped, so that was nice. Also, what I added was I had some extra hard disks drives for storage that will just mine at home. So I didn't pay for it, so it's not going to be on the price list or anything. But I did save that, and it adds a backup memory for her if she needs it. They can deliver incredible read speeds, meaning Windows will boot in seconds and load screens will basically be a thing of the past. The big thing here is that with AI, all the prices, all the new RAM, all the DDR5 and stuff are basically just triple the price they were like 2 years ago. So what I'm doing here right now is just giving her the foundation for the PC, and we can build up in the future if necessary. So the cooler I picked is a PC cooler, CPU cooler, 360 AIO liquid cooling. It has a display, and I just think it's a really good design and good for this build. For the fans, I got the Jungled Leopard Prism. It's a 120 4 Pro ARGB. So I got 4 of these for reverse and 3 normal ones. And yeah, I just really enjoyed how these turned out. And finally, to power this whole chaotic mess, we got a high voltage gold weighted power supply. You never ever want to skip on the power supply, especially with ports like these. This unit, which is a MSI Mega 750 watt power supply that is a gold brand, is stable power with plenty of headroom for future upgrades. So that's the core lineup, a combination built for raw power and speed, but also with a budget in mind. This is actually really good start. Now let's put it all together. This is my favorite part, where all these expensive boxes actually become a living, breathing machine. First things first, workspace prep. I got my anti-magnet brace, my magnetic screwdriver set, and all my screws organized. Trust me, you do not want to be hunting for a tiny screw in the middle of a build. It's the worst. We'll start by prepping the motherboard right on its box. The first and most delicate step is getting the CPU in. That raises the load plate and shows us the socket. Now for the CPU, I'll handle it by the edges, making sure not to touch the contacts on the bottom. There's a tiny golden triangle on the corner of the CPU and a matching one on the motherboard socket. All you have to do is line them up. Then just lower the load plate and clip the retention arm back down. And just like that, the brain is in. Next up, the solid state drive. This is one of the easier parts of any modern PC build. My motherboard has its main M.2 slot right below the CPU. So I'm going to just slide it in the drive into the. Now for the RAM. I'm installing 2 sticks, so I got to use the white slots to get that dual channel performance. The motherboard manual and usually a little diagram on the board tells you to use the second and fourth slots from the CPU. So there's these joints you have to unlock on the top and the bottom. I'll push these open, line up the notch on the bottom and top of the RAM stick with the key in the slot. It goes in only one way, so make sure you don't like have the little divot on the wrong slot. And then both ends until the clip clicks shut. Hearing that click is so satisfying. With the CPU, SSD, and RAM all installed, our motherboard is now the heart of the system. This was my first time doing a AIO cooler, and my brain obviously thought, hey, the best place to do this is start the AIO, the display, on the motherboard before I transport it to the case. So I did that, and it was not hard or challenging, really. Also, always peel your plastic off the cooler. Otherwise, your CPU will get hot, and you'll wonder why. The other thing is, so I was putting this cooler on my motherboard before I transported it. It worked out just fine. The big thing that I kind of just needed was I needed a little help transporting it in. So I got my brother to hold the fans while I was connecting the motherboard. And then after I connected the motherboard, I just screwed in the fans and everything. Now for the power supply, we'll get that mounted in the bottom of the case and start routing the most important cables. The main motherboard cables go in, follow the CPU power connector, which is always tucked away at the top left of the board or the middle, kind of depends. And then just what I like to do is I like to get the cables pushed through to get to the motherboard, but before I start doing cable management. This just makes cable management easier if you push the cables out and kind of try and get the motherboard prepped before you do the cables. Just don't actually start plugging it in yet. This build is really starting to come together, and I'm getting so excited just think about my sister's reaction. It's a ton of work, but knowing it's for her makes every single step worth it. If you've ever built a PC for a family member or a friend, let me know in the comments what you built and who it was for. I love to hear your stories. Alright, it's time for the money shot. I installed all the cables, now it's time to install the GPU. This GPU is a huge card, it's triple fan, so it's going to fill out the case beautifully. I'll just open the retention clip on the main expansion slot, line up the cord and press it firmly until it clicks right into place. Then I'll secure it with the screws at the back of the case and connect the power cables. One thing I forgot to mention earlier was that when I did the cables, I added extension cables, black and purple. Because of the Jinx theme, I thought it was best to add extension cables that would kind of brighten up her case, and I like these ones. So, and with that, the core assembly is done. The heart of the Jinx machine is built. All that high performance guts are in place, ready to cause some beautiful mayhem. There's still so much left to do, all the final cable management, installing the custom painted panel cases, software installing, and benchmarking. But for now, this is the moment of truth. Can we get a forced successful boot? Yes, we have post. It's live. The beast is alive. That is the single best site in the world for any PC builder. This part is for the people who want to know how much I saved or didn't save. So this is Jinx PC parts price. So I got everything I bought and how much it cost, the market price, and what I saved. So like right here, I have my bundle, but it's shows you how much I paid total for the bundle and how much I paid for it, saved, etc. And this is for the PC ports. And that is the perfect place to stop for part 1. The core system is built and we have a successful boot, which means all our main components are talking to each other perfectly. I'm so relieved and so incredibly excited right now. But this is just the beginning. The real Jinx theme happens in part 2. We're talking about some spray paint on the case, adding some unique elements on the inside, dialing in all the lights, and of course, the most important part, the final build. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you guys come back for part 2.